do you think then that that Cosmic Joke will have learned from that last game where they ignored a very important area of the map?
I think this map, if we see similar styles, this map will very much favour Cosmic Joke's style of play. This is a much more aggressive map than than Prof X's.
Prof X has got those it's basically a MOBA map almost. There are the 3 lanes, aren't there?
Well, I'm still surprised at the team's choice, army composition choices. Army ones didn't work out too. Cosmic Jokes didn't work out too badly with their Infernos early on, but I still felt that a Docks route would have been better for them. It would allow them to play the aggressive game that they clearly wanted to play. Wouldn't have allowed them to do the drops, but they never really made use of the drops. If you're going Infernos, they had to do more with the Pelicans than they did. They played very much a ground game, should have gone Docks, and that would have really kept Army 1 on the back foot the whole game, rather than giving them as much time to react as they did. And we saw a few places where Cosmic Joke was just indecisive, where they're making a quick push on a base, change their mind, pull the armor back, Army 1 gets a chance to move into position. So I think they just need to make the decisions on what their play is going to be and commit to it. Less messing around. We need to be here, we need to be there.
You know, I feel like Mott and Kiwi would make terrible partners because they just seem absolutely lacking in commitment.
so that's very harsh. That's
scathing, isn't it? Really?
Wow. It's good to see that the leader of the realm standing by his realm bodies really closely there. It's it's beautiful to see.
It's just that they were flitting from strategy to strategy, weren't they? They had the defense, they had the snowballing, they had the super weapons, they had the rear expansion. They even had some orbital units flying around the back of the map at one point, and they just didn't really make a good use of either. They just had them there, and they didn't really make good use of them, in my opinion.
Well, a lot of games already, a lot of the matches have already wrapped up, and indeed we can see the brackets here. Number of teams already through, so no surprises so far. PA Gods go on to fight against Dream Team. We see that Jelly won their match against Eerie Masters. I'm thinking you pronounce that. Techno Trousers beat Team Gordon Ramsay, and Team Ponage beat the Scrub Squad. So all of the favourites go through so far. So Techno Trousers will be waiting for whoever wins this game, and Techno Trousers consisting of CDRKF and Mothra, who used to better known as Max in the community, who used to also be a member of the Realm before leaving for the obviously vastly superior Team Burning.
Them's fighting words.
Exactly. Put up your dukes, good sir.
I tell you, Burning are a very, very strong clan. Though, as I said to you earlier, they gave us a real run for our money when we played against them in the Clan Wars fix. That was a very, very fun match to watch. Versus Burning fixture. I really enjoyed that one, even though we did lose one.
No, absolutely. But yeah, so we're definitely in for the long game here, and only a couple of other matches still playing. Test Team versus Minerva, as I think would also be interesting one. Good to see who comes out of that. Minerva, I don't know as much about them, but I want to see what Test Team do. If they take them to the third game. I don't know Rust Dragon that one. I want to see if Kisel and Rust Dragon win out 2 games, or have to go to a third game, or even get knocked out. But we're just pending all the players getting it together. And then we will be getting into this second game of the best of 3 in round 1 between Army 1 and Cosmic Joke. As we said, this time on Temple version 2. Close quarters map around a lake.
So do we feel this one might be a little bit more fast paced then? You say it's an aggressive map. Are you thinking this might be a little bit more of a fast paced game? Less turtling?
I expect to see a much more aggressive play. There's going to be some aggressive. Primarily, the aggressive play will happen more on the water. I think that will on the land. The land space opens up there's a lot of more room to raid around there, but the water you have to move into hard and fast. Try and take there, otherwise it's going to be very difficult for you to ever get back in there again. Okay, so the game is starting up now, so let's switch across to that. And have a look at the map.
Let's have a poke around here. This is a very nice looking map, actually.
Yeah, this is one of the almost all of the maps being used in this tournament are made by the community, so they are all taken from the community map pack and from Killer Kiwi Juice's map pack. So a bit of a home advantage to some of these for Killer Kiwi Juice. But all of these can be found on PA Mod Manager, where you can download all these map packs. We have taken a copy of all of them in a tournament map pack to make sure that there were no changes of what the players practiced on them. But you'll find that all the spawns for this map are all around the edges, so I believe there's one there, one there, one there, and one there. But how the teams are divided up, they can be across the lake from each other, or they can be next to each other. PA doesn't stick teams together, so there's no guarantee that you are spawning together. You might be sandwiching your opponents. And on the far side of the planet, we see the temple, where there is a heavy distribution of mechs. But from my experience on this map, it's not as heavily fought as you might think. There doesn't tend to be as many battles going on in there.
It seems like quite an easy to defend position because you've got all those terrain features that will block shots coming through.
I'll be interested to see how high level teams tackle this. From my experience playing on here, more battling happens in the water than happens in the temple. Who owns the temple is a reflection of who's already winning the game. So we see the teams are going to a sandwich configuration, spawning across the water from one another, and a very deep land deployment by one of the Army 1 players, actually. Surprised. Yeah, I think we can see that a couple of players have been assigned Navy and a couple have been assigned land.
That's quite a wise decision, I think. Again, because of the nature of the army system which we have in PA, where you can pick up any unit you like, it's really, really useful to be able to early on assign roles to certain players. You know that a certain type of unit will be in a certain place at a certain time, so you can just reach across at any point and take control of that as your teammate.
Yeah, we see that one player from each team definitely been assigned now to a water role. The other player's going for land. We see Botsk out of Army 1, whereas Cosmic Joke is going for a tank approach. I would expect it actually to see from this Army 1 player. I'd expect to see a closer to shore deployment if they want to do combat fabbers and take the trees. Deploying so deep into the land has lost them a lot of the trees they want to grab.
This is true, but certainly this is nothing new here. This is what is called tree economy, where you send out a combat fabricator or indeed an ordinary fabricator, but combat fabricators tend to be a lot quicker at doing so. And you just send them out to go and harvest trees, and trees provide bonus metal to your economy. So actually having that is a very, very useful thing. I don't see the same being done by
they've got one out now. They've gone for a late bot factory, so they have, they have now got one. Missing a great opportunity to raid Army 1 though. There's all fabbers and combat fabbers there. They have scouted it with a skitter, but they haven't sent anything over there to take it out. A bit mysterious to me. That's a glorious opportunity for some wins over there. There's absolutely no defences. That picking up those fabbers, that's a game win right there.
Taking out early fabricators is extremely advantageous because at this stage in the game, every single bit of metal that you spend counts. You have so little of it, the percentage of your economy that's been invested in any particular unit is massive. So early wins against fabricators that prevent further expansion really, really cripple you for sometimes the rest of the game. Those early plays not happening at the moment though. I'm not seeing any air from any of the players. Air, of course, being the most easily able to respond. And so bombers,
again, I swing here. The camera around here to prove TheWrongCat wrong. There is an extra air coming out of Army 1. Who've now got a couple. Who've starting to get some fighters, but yeah,
I would like to see some early bots to take out some fabricators here. Those exposed fabricators, particularly those gathering up the tree economy, certainly would be nice, easy targets for a bomber. So far, we've got a little bit of confrontation happening now. Some bolos, shortly followed by some docks coming through from Cosmic Joke. Again, seeing this early aggressive play that we saw in the last round. That has, however, been spotted by Army 1. I would imagine that they have a radar up there somewhere, and they've seen them coming, and they know that they've got to try and react to that pretty quickly. The commander's obviously able to easily take out this, but those docks are going to get through there and take out a couple of metal extractors quite early on. Not going to be able to get the second one, I think. Those bolos just able to get there in time, but that's going to be irritating, certainly, for Army 1. Nice Uber cannon goes off there, takes out the threat. Looking into the lake, we can now see some early confrontation happening. We have a Barracuda, a couple of Barracudas taking out early metal extractors, however, shortly being followed by an Orca and a Narwhal from Army 1 to take them out.
Yeah, we see some confrontations obviously going on in the lake already. Both players it's a fairly mild pushing going on here. I prefer to see some more aggressive use of torpedo launch. Is very powerful against Tier 1. And we see Army 1's already got up one. But they should be pushing out with that Fabber that's for some reason just assisting a factory. Get out there, get the torpedo launchers out, and then you can stop anyone even going to the water. Because it's the only real way to shut the commander down reliably.
The range on those orcas is absolutely astounding. Like once you're into this lake with the orcas there, they can really put the pressure on from quite a way away. And you can see the Army 1 are actually effectively doing that already. I think that was you just pinged me there. You can see that brutally just destroying those metal extractors. Nothing that they can do against that. So those exposed shoreside metal extractors really feeling the pinch.
Now, it's one of the reasons why it's so important to take the water. There's quite a bit of metal that's accessible from the water can be shelled, and once you've been driven back into the jungle, you've lost, I would say, probably more than half of the metal that's available on the map. Certainly you're going to be in trouble. It's very hard to get back in the water once you've lost it.
This is why each team has assigned a player to naval combat so early on in the game. None of them thankfully chosen to ignore the lake. As you say, a huge projection of power, and actually most of the important land-based structures can be built in the water as well. And what that means is that if you have control of the lake, you can effectively prevent any land army from being able to pry you out of it. And that is a humongous in terms of defensive play.
See, a commander already the commander's going at it now in the water. Both of them run into each other. Torpedo launches going up, walls going down. But unfortunately, those torpedoes are running into the walls.
That commander's safe for now, but those are really, really high damage torpedoes. The walls are not going to last him that long. He needs to get out of the range of that torpedo launcher sooner rather than later. And indeed, he's beating a hasty retreat now. Some ships coming around to try and deal with the enemy commander. Torpedoes are just actually going under those walls and through those walls, so that commander's taking a bit of damage, down to almost half health there for the white commander. The yellow commander seems to have escaped relatively okay. He's actually pulling himself back into the range.
Walls can be very dodgy in water. Sometimes they block torpedoes, sometimes the torpedoes go under them. It just depends on the positioning. It's very dangerous.
Now being bombarded by two sets of torpedoes, and I think they've just realised what they're doing. Sat him there, taking damage unnecessarily. Now two sets of torpedoes are getting in there. Is he going to be able to get out of range of all that in time?
I think he's just going to make it, but it's going to be very close. He is just sneaking out of range there, escorted by. But if these subs, there's not quite enough of them to take out the commander. If they push straight in, they might have got him. They could have probably just gone straight in at those walls and suicided on the commander, taking him out. Because you get a couple of torpedoes off. Even if you die, they're still gonna. Those torpedoes are still firing out. It takes a long time to take out subs.
Cosmic Joke can smell blood now. They know how low that commander is. They know how vulnerable he is. They are putting everything into. Look at that defensive barrage of torpedo launchers. They are absolutely going to try and follow through on this and take out that commander. Absolutely.
Army 1's definitely looking in trouble now. They look like they're slowly losing the water, and on the land,
and if we look,
land base is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, the land is in trouble as well. Both their commanders very, very exposed. The early aggressive tactics here from Cosmic Joke really coming into their own on this map. As you said, much smaller map, very much favouring aggressive play. We can also see a docks raid happening over here as well, taking out even more of the economy from Army 1, who are already well behind. They are just sat idle at the moment, but they can push through here, take out the tree economy expanding fabricator, take out some more metal extractors. Here they go. They're trying to do too much and too many fronts at once here. I think they are struggling to do that, but they've put on a lot of pressure. Army 1 really struggling to stay in the game here. Well,
Cosmic Joke should be pushing in on that commander, though. I think those subs could probably get those torpedoes under the wall and take out the commander. Really need to be a bit more aggressive with them, especially as the primary defense that Army 1 has is orcas, which aren't going to do anything against those submarines because they have no torpedoes of their own. Need to get in there, be a bit aggressive. Again, though, we see the Infernos coming out of Cosmic Joke. Total mystery to me. I don't think that's a good choice at all. Go with the Bolo army.
They're running them away as well. Why are they retreating Infernos from Bolos? Infernos go towards the Bolos, and that's how you make the Bolos feel the pain.
Well, they're outnumbered. They're giving ground on that land. They really need to be just pushing a little harder on all the fronts. We see that Army 1 starting to take the economy, and indeed starting to claim sections of the temple, though not testing for Cosmic Joke is making them fight for that ground. They're pushing armies around on both fronts, and I think they're going to knock down those metal extractors again. But really, Cosmic Joke got to push harder on the water here. They're allowing Army 1 to regroup, get at their own torpedo launchers, and torpedo launchers are going to be hard to shift. They just need to get in there and take it out.
There's so much happening in this map on so many different fronts. You've got the water combat. These two commanders still, it's very much a combat. So these submarines are now going to get in range of this commander. Are they going to be able to get those torpedoes under the wall? Are they going to focus on the commander? Or are they going to start shooting other things instead? There's enough torpedo defense there, I think, that they're not actually going to be able to get in range and do anything effective there. But they were definitely going for that, going for his throat there. Got a couple of hits off.
Oh, a few torpedoes got through, just a few more, and that commander's going to die. They almost got the angle there. They should have pushed it earlier when there would have been no torpedo launchers there had they pushed it a while ago. And it feels like once again they're letting the game slip out of their grasp. This should be their game to win.
I wouldn't go quite that far. If you actually look over in the other base here, I'm going to ping it quickly. We've actually got Cosmic Joke pincer moving on this base. They've got armies on both sides. Only one moving in for some reason. This other one should really be moving in at the same time. There it goes. Although they're now going to be staggered in their approach. And actually, this commander, we've wasted Uber Cannon already.
Right into the building.
Those Infernos are easily going to take out those factories, and that commander is playing far too defensively. He needs to be staying. Are they repairing him? Oh, no, they're hummingbirds. I thought they were fabricators. They're just hovering over the top of him. And they're just
good army play there by Cosmic Joke, though, moving around the buildings, using them as a shield against the Uber cannons. This base is over.
Base is gone. That commander is running away, and he does need to run away because there are a couple of Infernos there, which could cause him a bit of an issue if they get too close. The army's not chasing the commander. They're happy to just kill off the base. So now that puts everything down to this poor commander down here on 6%, trying to defend this slightly larger base. But even that is being really put. There's lots of pressure on here. They've got Bolos already putting it on the back as well. Just armies everywhere from Cosmic Joke, and they are being fantastically aggressive here.
And they're making the pings are going down for them to move in for the kill. I think they're just going to try and finish off that commander. Don't think they've got the troops to pull it off.
If those Infernos are not going to get there. Very good Uber Cannon placement there. The Infernos are a bit of a threat, but he's managed to get rid of them before they become a problem. But he's down to 25% of his health, down to a quarter health. The other commander is still sat down there at 6%. This is snipe territory here, and I would be very surprised if Cosmic Joke are not able to finish this.
And a huge sub-force sneaking around in the lake here to try and drive Army 1 out of the water entirely. I think if they need to move up, though, they're going to let the first two get picked off. They need to commit all the subs here. I don't think anyone's looking at this area. Finally, they're moving the army in now. I think they should have enough to push through. No, maybe
I'm not sure they're
going
to. There's enough overkill there that Army 1 had a real numerical advantage there, but they didn't manage to fully use. Like, those subs are gone. It's a shame. There's a bit of pressure going on to one of the other commanders down here from Cosmic Joke, but nothing serious. Just a few T1 tanks licking around the place.
Well, they're trying to get a tier 2 naval factory up, and I think that's a mistake. They haven't got the resources for it. They're really stalling hard. They're not going to get that done. They need to clean out the water. Then they can take all of those mechs, and that will give them what they need to get tier 2 up. This they haven't claimed the water. They've trying to get it up now. I don't think it's going to work for them, and it's going to cost them on the ground game, where they're going to let Army 1 get back into it.
This is a very low eco game. Neither team is able to effectively expand here because it is such an aggressive map. Anything you build is destroyed in minutes. So both teams need to be focusing on using the limited resources that they have available to them.
We're seeing some nice use here of teleporters by Army 1. They've set up a link between the two bases now, so they can funnel their limited troops around, and certainly the land section of one of Cosmic Joke's base is looking very vulnerable.
I would certainly be tempted to put both the commanders right next to those teleporters, because being able to run away from things. Actually, that commander's just come out of that teleporter right into an oncoming army. Although I think they've got enough to try and defend him.
Yep. An Uber cannon from him actually, just quite nice for them.
But no, I think he came through a bit too. There's lots of mines, lots of very good use of mines here by Army 1. Actually, we're about to see some tanks run over some mines and get destroyed by them. Absolutely slaughtered. No, that's really good use of those on all these choke points.
Is whether or not Cosmic Joke noticed there were any mines there. There seems to be a blind spot on a lot of players. They don't see the mines, and so they don't put the skitters into the army compositions that they need to. Once you've got a skitter in your army, mines are worthless because you will see them and you will blow them away. But without a skitter, they can be absolutely devastating, and players do seem to have a blind spot for it.
I'm struggling to see whose mines these are in the middle. In fact, those might actually be terrain features. I'm not seeing any radar blips for those ones in the temple itself.
Those are queued up mines. No one's built them yet, so I think that's Army 1.
That's what I'm seeing there. Okay, right, whoops.
Yeah, that's Army 1. They've got a combat foe roaming around. getting ready to put all those mines down. There's some docks coming in now from Cosmic Joke, but they're not going to get very far if they keep pushing that direction. A lot of tier 1 laser turrets up there ready for them.
I'll tell you what, I said earlier I'd be very surprised if Cosmic Joke didn't win this, but actually now looking at the economy tabs, again we're seeing that Army 1 have managed to get themselves ahead in economy, and I think these mines have saved them. These mines have saved them from inevitable defeat. They've done very, very well with those. They've managed to hold off the attacks for as long as they need to sort of recover from what was a really, really precarious position about 5 minutes ago. And I think that they've got a chance here to try and come back, and they are putting a bit of pressure back on Cosmic Joke on a couple of fronts.
Yeah, Cosmic Joke they've made the mistake of getting ahead in the naval war and then not finishing off their opponent. I've done this before as well, and it's a big mistake, because once you allow someone to keep even a foothold in the water, you can never take the resources in that lake, and you need those resources if you've committed to the naval game. And without them, they're really looking in trouble. They're driving all over the place. A lot of defenses down, a lot of mines, and their land assaults just aren't making the progress they need to.
This T2 naval factory now is actually starting to look less and less silly now I think about it, because once they do have control of this lake, and they will, once they've got T2, once they've got Leviathans on the field, for example, this little naval presence here by Army 1 is toast. And then they've got some fantastic opportunity there to project power out of the lake. Lots of exposed power generators in particular for Army 1. In fact, I think that 90% of their power generation is within a stone's throw of that lake, so that will cripple them. Absolutely cripple them.
Very dangerous play there, because they don't have the resources for it. They've been operating at 50 to 60% efficiency for a while building it, and it's really put them behind the land game and allowed Army 1 to get back in, who are taking that temple now. The mines are making sure they're going to hold on to it this time, and if Cosmic Joke are driven off the land before they get those Leviathans out to try and turn the game around, and haven't taken the lake yet, then I just don't think it's going to be enough for them. They're going to be far too vulnerable. The Leviathans will just get bombed or something.
Really, we need to see some more energy coming out of Army 1 here. That's their main weakness at the moment. They've got all of their energy production in one place, and there's really not that much of it. They've only got 11k. They need to have some more energy. They're now starting construction of an advanced vehicle factory as well, so they're obviously looking to project more power on the land. However, there's enough of a force here that if they stay away from the lake, they'll actually just run straight back into a defensive force from Army 1.
Yeah, it was a mistake. They should have committed to destroying the vehicle factories, I think, instead of... They have Infernos. If you're bringing an Inferno army, go destroy some buildings. Otherwise, why have you brought Infernos? you got to move in there, destroy those buildings, massacre their production, and then the next army you bring in is going to be bigger than their army, and you're just going to win through favourable confrontations like that. But we do see that Army 1 are suffering greater losses in terms of metal in these confrontations. Cosmic Joke have the lower income, but they're coming the better out of these confrontations. They're making some good decisions about where to commit their forces to.
But does that take into account mines? I'm not sure if it does.
The metal loss, it's anything that's getting exploded.
You're looking at metal loss, my apologies, I thought you were looking at something else. I'm not quite sure what, but I thought you were looking at something else.
I'm just browsing whatever.
Browsing Reddit, yeah.
We see now that both teams starting to establish. Again, it's turning into a relatively static game for the two sides. A lot of defenses, some very cautious play coming out in these round 1 games here. A lot of mines going down. Again, not something I would normally see on this map. But certainly there are a number of chokes, some good opportunities. So it's a good use of mines here by Army 1. But it does look like Cosmic Joke getting a good foothold now in the land game, and if they can keep that foothold...
That commander's looking very exposed right now with all of those Infernos. That commander there. That's a nice large army. Unless they run into mines, which is entirely possible.
I think that commander will retreat to the other side of that mine strip, and I think it'll be fine. Yeah. They've seen it coming now. They get the turrets up as well.
Yeah, okay, they've been able to react to that. Potentially that could have been quite a threat, but... You know what, these mines, I really do think these mines have completely saved Army 1. Without the mines, they'd have lost this game 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, absolutely. But the mines themselves are a decent resource investment, so they're not getting them for free.
Of course.
But yes, I mean, and again, we see that that Cosmic Joke haven't put any skitters into their forces. A single skitter in that army, and none of those mines would be a threat. They would just destroy them all at range. And for some reason, players never do it. They never see mines. No one thinks mines, even if they see combat fabbers. And they really need to adjust their thinking, or it could well cost them the ground game.
In this case, I think that the lack of scouting of mines could cost, potentially. I mean, don't forget, we are still very, very much in snipe territory here. Both of these commanders for Army 1 are very low health. So something can appear out of nowhere and destroy those in seconds, and we might even miss it on the cast. But assuming that doesn't happen, that the lack of scouting here could actually cost them the whole game.
Well, I think Army 1 are committing themselves to this Tier 2 factory now. That's where their investment is. They need to get that out. They can convert their temple resources to Tier 2, especially with these mine defences. That could easily be a victory in itself for them. I can also
see they're actually committing a fair amount of economy into trying to get those commanders back up out of snipe territory health, which I think is wise.
The Leviathan is out now, so this lake base for Army 1 is not long for this world. The Leviathan is just going to sit at range, and with all those torpedo launchers there's nothing Army 1 can do about this. Nothing at all. They need to move around. They need to move around the shore and take out those shore resources that Cosmic Joke have while that naval force still exists. Because if they stay in that base, they're just going to die to that Leviathan.
They're retreating. I'm not sure if they're retreating or just going around, but they need to just try and... That Leviathan needs to die, because that is extremely dangerous. They've chased that army, they've chased that navy rather, out of the base. They're running away, and that means that, essentially, I think this is going to mean that Army 1 is conceding control of the lake.
No, absolutely.
I can't see any way to get back in this.
Once they let the Tier 2 naval go up, they were never going to take this lake back, especially with this heavy torpedo presence. They needed to use the building of that to really push the land game. The mines, while it's keeping them in the land game, is in itself perhaps an overly defensive play, considering the resources that Cosmic Joke were putting into the lake game.
We can just see that now, slowly whittling down everything that was remaining in that base. The final naval factory is now well in its sights. That's going to be gone. That's going to be them out of the naval game altogether.
Yeah, and that's going to give Cosmic Joke a nice boost in resources when they take all these central mech spots as well. Their Tier 2 Favors, it's going to be a lot of metal income for them than they had before.
Looking at the range on that, there's an awful lot exposed to that. All of these energy plants are forfeit. That Tier 2 vehicle factory potentially forfeit if that Leviathan can get close enough in.
Yes, they're certainly putting themselves very... Yes, considering their state in the lake, this just feels like, let's see if they scouted this. Had they actually seen there was a Tier 2 naval factory? They had scouted it, so the question is why they built so much stuff so close to the lake then? They made no move to stop it. And we see now their own naval force can actually shell the base of Cosmic Joke, so why hadn't they moved out and shelled this base earlier and supported ground assaults? They've seemed to put... Army 1's put itself on the back foot here.
So all of my high praise for those mines earlier perhaps slightly misplaced.
Perhaps an overly defensive decision. If they can hold the temple still, though, it's not all lost. That temple has a lot of metal spots in there, and though I don't feel they're putting the mines rather deep in there, though. I would like to see more mines around the entrance points than mines deep inside the temple itself. At which point you could already lose those metal spots. But if they can keep their Tier 2 factory alive, then they still got a good chance. They're
just pumping out Leviathans though, and this Tier 2 naval factories. Now, how many have they got there? 3 Leviathans on the field. This is going to make very short work of anything within range of that. That base is entirely forfeit. I think even up as far as that Tier 2 vehicle factory, all of that is gone.
The Tier 2 vehicle factory is doomed. They're pumping that. They need to pump out as many Fabers out of it as they can.
Which is what they're doing, I think.
Yeah. We've seen now a big push coming in from Army 1 towards Cosmic Joke's commander. Cosmic Joke now is coming. The walls are going up. Their own army's gathering. They're scouting it with fighters. But does Cosmic Joke have enough troops there? No. It's going to be close, I think.
There's a couple of Infernos in the front line there. I think there weren't perhaps enough to deal with those walls as they need to. They just got straight into a big, meaty Uber cannon shot there.
Nicely driven off by Cosmic Joke. Good use of the Uber cannon. Really pushed them back there. And that's another push dealt with, and it's starting to look rather tricky for Army 1, who, although they have a substantial land presence because they have lost the lake, that can cost them the game.
And we can see now those Leviathans all focusing on that advanced factory. That's going down in the next few seconds. That's not long for this world.
Oh, and it did. We just lost the commander from Cosmic Joke. What
happened?
I think he got too bold, but the looks of it, I think he advanced beyond the walls thinking it was safe. Or did he get deleted? I think there may... No, he kept advancing. bit of a mistake
Oh
there
wow, that
by
was a
Cosmic.
terrible play.
A bit of a mistake there by Cosmic Joke. He kept pushing up, but they hadn't moved the army with him, and they lose a commander for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Wow, that was really poor play. That was terrible commander play. You need to keep the commanders well defended.
Yeah,
that was unnecessary.
at this level of play, that is not the kind of mistake you expect to be seeing.
That is.
And it's making Cosmic
poor.
Joke's commander in the lake now looking very vulnerable, and I think Army 1 would do well to try and find a way to pull off that snipe. I don't think they're going to win through conventional forces.
No, but the trouble is they've given up that lake, and where's the commander? In the lake. They are going to have a hell of a time doing that.
Army 1 still do have the army and eco advantages. I think it's just going to be hard for them to approach the lake. But on the other hand, as long as they can, if they can take out this Cosmic Joke base and defeat their land presence, then it's going to give them some good sniper opportunities.
And you know what? Looking at the army numbers there, that's not beyond the realms of possibility.
Yeah, they're definitely closing. They're closing in hard now. A lot of troops lost there to Cosmic Joke as a result of that commander explosion. That was not good for their defending forces. And the Leviathans are all on the wrong side of the lake to help prevent this assault on their base.
Commander deaths tend to be fairly bad for most things, it has to be said, on your strategic level. But these forces, I think they're actually, these ones coming around the back here, more of a distraction than anything else, allowing the other force to come through and start taking out some factories. And we can now see, finally, a few skitters mixed in, maybe a little bit too late by Cosmic Joke.
It's the thought that counts, really, isn't it?
It's just nice to be vindicated every so often. Like, but you should be doing this, and then to suddenly see a player doing it 5 minutes later, like, yeah, I told you so.
I think it's the deep level of insight you can come to expect from Quitch and TheWrongCat commentary. We are, frankly, visionaries of the game.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, it's too late. I have. It's there. You can write it in quotes, people. We are visionaries of the game. Quitch 2015. There you go.
Okay.
That's your box quote. Let me see, just a few, most of that, a good chunk of that base taken out. They need to move in and finish it off, though.
Oh! Look what I've just spotted. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with those, because there are no skitters in with those boom bots. And that commander is right in there. Look at how entrenched they are inside that temple. They're not getting anywhere near that commander.
Yeah, they see that Cosmic Joke, they're instantly scanning with fires. They're trying to find out what's going on over there. We see some some bomber forces starting to get built up now as well by Army 1. So they're
going for a snipe, but they're going to try and go for an underwater naval.
It's an intel refresh time. Both teams trying to find the other side's commanders, I think. Get a bit of a refresh as to what's going on around this map.
I think both teams are aware that the only way this is going to end is with a snipe, because one has the naval and one now has pretty much total control over the land, so conventional forces can't really attack each other, or they can, but what's going to end up happening is the land forces will get ground down by the superior range of the naval forces. So what that options that leave to them is snipes. You know what, I wouldn't actually be surprised to see Army 1 go for another orbital factory.
Well, I think that would be it wouldn't be a bad choice. But once you've they need to pull off one attack.
As I say that, as I say it, visionary, I'm visionary.
Well done, sir. Well done. You are a credit to the Planetary Annihilation casting community. These deep insights you bring to the game. It's clearly you are in the. It's almost like you're in the TeamSpeak with them, coaching them.
Almost.
But we see now that they've got that temple, they've got the resources, and although the lake belongs to Cosmic Joke, they don't own anything outside it. They haven't moved the Leviathans either to defend their last land base. They really need to move those Leviathans to somewhere more useful.
They just want to avoid losing those last factories at this point, although I'm not sure they're going to be. There are no Infernos there, and they've just driven the Bolos straight into an Inferno. Oh, that's awful. Okay, well, they're going to keep at least a few factories for the time being, which is important.
Well, they're not going to win this battle on the land. In actual, if I were them, I would already be switching up to my snipe victory, because at this point, and it's looking like they're going to be in trouble because the orbital fab is out already for Army 1, and it's whoever switches up first wins. Army 1's not going to get in the lake. Cosmic Joke's not going to get back on the land. So it's a case of getting up your plan B. Right,
so the orbital fabricators are up. What are they?
I expect to see an orbital factory going up next.
There we go.
Yeah,
there it is.
Orbital factory.
It's SXX.
Yeah. SSX lasers. And SSX lasers are a one-shot weapon. Once someone knows you've got them, you never can use them again. On
cue, we suddenly see, on the other side of the planet, umbrellas everywhere.
It has been scouted, it would seem. Let's have a look.
Either scouted or predicted. I think that they know that both teams know.
They have vision. I think
they've
they've put up a deep space radar somewhere. They seem to have vision of the orbital fabbers.
I can't see one.
Is there an advanced radar out there?
Yes, there is. There's an advanced radar. Yeah, right in the middle of their naval base. That's how they can see that then.
It's a small enough map that has managed to extend its orbital reach out over there, so that's how they know. And up go the lasers. So I don't think SSX is going to manage to pull off a snipe unless Cosmic Joker is asleep at the wheel.
Right, let's have a little look around. I suspect, Army 1 being Army 1, that they have not invested everything into orbital, and they'll have a couple of other tricks up their sleeve. I'm looking for a nuke launcher. I'm not seeing one yet.
What you mean?
They've got an advanced
army of everything.
Yeah, they have an advanced air factory going up as well. So I suspect we could have just, if you Hornets come out, Hornet Snipe would be a really nice one to see. Although they're currently building air fabricators by the dozen.
I think this is just to rush out the tier 2 economy as quickly as possible, so they don't have to pathfind around the temple. Although it's not, considering how close these extractors are together, I don't think that's necessary.
Both teams now, I think they've abandoned conventional warfare altogether. All these armies just sat stationary as more of a defense, more of a psychological threat than anything else.
Well, the SSX laser is now out for Army 1. It is just sitting there currently.
It's never going to get within range. Never going to get anywhere near that commander. There's umbrellas going up already. There's no way that's going to do anything.
Well, it doesn't have to pick up the command. It could be used to just eliminate the land presence now of Cosmic Joke. It depends if they know these. I don't think they know these umbrellas are up here yet. No, they haven't scouted.
They would be daft to send anything in without scouting first. So they've got, for goodness sake, they've got an orbital factory. Why don't they build an advanced radar? Oh! Look what they just built. Look at that. Oops, it did.
And the WrongCat was never heard from again. Just mysterious noises, a bump, and that was the end. That's WrongCat.
I just broke my chair.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
1987 to 2015.
87?
I have no idea. I'm just making a guess. Yeah. Like, you lack the wisdom of my years, so I'm thinking 87.
Oh!
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm flattered, sir.
But we see that they're pushing out the SXX lasers, so maybe they're just going to try and brute force it. They can take out umbrellas if you have enough of them. It can be done. It's not the most efficient way. I think they'd be better off just investing in a nuke. But it'd be harder for the enemy to scout.
Once more, this is Army 1 here. Efficiency doesn't seem to be top of their game. They've got bombers everywhere. They've committed to that. They've got what look to be phoenixes, which you said we wouldn't see any of in this tournament.
I said it was unlikely. I said it was unlikely. Not that we wouldn't see any. I'm not sure in terms of cost that they don't trade really much better than a Hummingbird does. It's hard to run the numbers because it depends how the weapons end up targeting.
Can see what they're going for. They're actually going to be going for a bomber snipe here. They're going to send in the fighters and the bombers together and just try and get that commander. There's lots of flak there.
There's a lot of flak. They're going to pull us off. And I think nuke brute force is the way to go. It's going to be the hardest one for someone with a lower economy than you to defend against.
Oh my goodness, we said we weren't going to see a very turtly game, but actually it's just dissolved into Turtle Fest 2015. It's just...
Well, Army 1 still hasn't removed the Cosmic Joke land presence, and Cosmic Joke now moving in. They got skitters, so these mines are going to do absolutely nothing. They're moving in with vanguards, they're moving in with levelers, and they're moving right into the heart.
There are bombers everywhere. There's no way they're going to get through the bombers if the bombers are mobilised in time. There we go.
Yep, those bombers need to wake up because some of that eco was already going down. Here come the bombers. This is like... There's two bold spinners in there. 2 bold spinners. Can they hold off the 5 trillion bombers?
Don't forget that the air explode. Oh wow.
The answer is no.
No.
The answer is no. They die in a beautiful firestorm, and now the bombers are out there and they're like, Ashfaq, they had a land base. We should probably destroy that. And now they're destroying it.
Wake up time.
Yep. Army 1 remembers that they have to actually win the game.
Wow, that is a beautiful thing to see. Look at all those explosions.
Oh, but here comes 6 hummingbirds. That's right. They need to filter out the hummingbirds and bring them back because there's a fair few bombers being lost for no reason here, but not enough. I suspect it's going to make a difference. They could probably actually. How many? Let's have a look at the flax layout. Okay, no, I don't think they're going to punch through there.
It's that commander is just turtling so
hard. And that's going
hard.
the anti-nuke now. The anti-nuke is going up. They are paying every defense. I'm not quite sure what they're thinking they're going to win with, because it's only building defenses.
That's what I was thinking. I'm seeing all of the aggressive plays coming from Army 1, all of the defensive plays coming from Cosmic Joke.
Well, they know they're behind, so they've got to get the defense. I guess they get the defenses up, shore it up, and then try and
This was their game to lose. This was their game to lose.
No,
they had such an advantage. such an advantage in the mid game, and they've thrown it completely. And they are on the back foot. Look at the economies; they are behind in economy. They're playing defensive and allowing Army 1 to put on all of the aggression, and I can't see any way that they can pull off a snipe at this point. And that's the only way they're going to get through that hellhole that is the temple right now.
Where's the second commander? Because if the two commanders are close together, they've got a chance. And indeed they are. Maybe nukeable together if Cosmic Joke had gone
but they
straight
have
for
to
the
build the nuke launcher first.
Yes, but how much scouting has Army 1 really been doing? Have they got orbital radar over there? Let's see how much they can see. Okay, so yeah, everything that's being done by Cosmic Joke is now visible to Army 1. There are no secrets. I think we're just going to see Army 1 grind down Cosmic Joke. Shame they hadn't gone for the nuke launch. That would probably have been the best way for them to win, because it's so hard for Cosmic Joke in this situation to scout a nuke launcher. They can't get into the heart of Army 1's base. They don't have orbital, so they've really got no way of getting vision in there, and nuke launcher would have been hard to see, orbital much easier for them to spot and defend against.
I'm perplexed. I'm intrigued to know how this is going to end. I feel like Hawkins could be an idea for Army 1 here.
I think that's the way it's going to have to go, because Hawkins is about the only thing that can't be defended against, and with the huge air advantage, although a lot of it is bombers, and we see some
I'm seeing movement in the air. Movement in the air, they're doing something.
Phoenix is coming around here from Cosmic Joke. Those are all going to get shot down, though. The Phoenixes of Army 1 are there, and down they go.
Oh, here we go. This is going to be interesting. What? Just took out 2 walls.
Those walls didn't know what hit them. And here we see they're going to have to commit quickly, though, because otherwise they're just going to get shot down by the flak. They just don't take out the orbital defences.
They go for the umbrellas.
Not sure this is a good choice unless they're already moving in with the SXX lasers, which they're not. Doesn't feel like this has been worth it so far.
No, I'm not seeing this paying off for them.
I think they're just sort of destroying targets of opportunity. They feel like they've got that huge force. They have to commit it to something. Either go for the snipe or hang back. And I don't think there's much point sending in the fighters.
We now have a nuke going up for Army 1. A hell of a pace. Look at all of those air fabricators.
Bit late in the day, though. They've got to punch through.
They have so much build power on that thing. It's ridiculous.
They've got to punch through.
That's going to be up in.
I would just turn off all their factories at this point.
If they just turn off everything and nuke everything, that's what they need to be doing right now.
Nuke all of the things. Yeah, I think they've just got to commit themselves fully now to. Oh, and out come the boom bots from Cosmic Joke, overwhelming those poor Infernos. Oh, there's Infernos to counter the booms, but good God, there's
not enough of them.
There's a lot of booms there, but yeah, Army 1's going to drive out this land base now, I think.
Yeah, I think there's not enough to. That said, how many Leviathans? Or no, Stingrays, in fact. But Stingrays are fantastic against tier 2, but I'm not seeing any tier 2 in the army composition, so Leviathans would have been the better bet to have as a defensive unit, but they're going to be pushed off of the land, driven into the sea. Biblical.
Yeah,
almost.
That's yeah. Truly, they are the Red Bull, and Cosmic Joker the last of the unicorns.
I can't believe you've seen that film. That's such a niche film.
It's my reference. They're going to break it out every time. It's not a niche film. What are you talking about? It's an 80s film. Surely everyone who was alive in the 80s has seen that film now.
But I wasn't alive in the 80s.
Well,
I can't believe I've seen it.
Good lord.
No.
Today's youth, that's the problem.
They've let these fabricators escape. They're fleeing. They're fleeing back into the land. They just left them.
Yes, those fire will turn the tide. The SXX lasers lurking around the edges there, just waiting to a chance to do
waiting for the
something.
Opportunity.
They haven't really been used very effectively. I mean, I don't know if they think that Cosmic Joker doesn't know they're there, and since they clearly do, why not use them to take out some of these land troops? But oh, another push
more
with
movement. Fighters only?
They're going to clear the skies, and then the bombers are going to come in. That looks like what they're going to try and do. And then they decide, no, we're not going to do it. Oh, they are getting a Hawkins up. They've rushed a Hawkins. Here we go. Hawkins snipe time.
Where are we seeing this Hawkins? Let's get
underneath. There we go. They're firing on the commander. It is. It's the Hawkins that they finally got round to building, and they're rushing another Hawkins. This is the way that they're going to win, because there are no Hawkins defences apart from units of your own. And the Leviathans are firing the wrong way. Stingray coming forward to try and thin out this air.
That Stingray is doing a fantastic job of taking out those fighters.
Yes,
he's not found the Hawkins yet, though. That commander is thinking, oh dear. I need to be mobile to try and like not get shot by things. But by being mobile, he's moving away from his defenses and away from the anti-nuke defense.
Down goes the anti-nuke. It's gone.
There goes the nuke.
I expect to see a nuke launch soon.
Where's the nuke? Where's the nuke? The anti-nuke is gone.
Does Army 1 know that they've killed the anti-nuke? Do they know?
I can't find
the commander can't run
launcher.
too far because he's going to run into the SXX lasers soon, which are now firing on the which are
Oh.
firing on by the umbrellas, and for some reason just sitting there. They have
nuke
not
is
noticed that umbrellas getting built right underneath them. Oh, here come the bombers.
The reason that nuke has not been fired yet is because it's not been completed. They did not commit build power to it until just now.
Pushed it into the Hulkins. Probably a good choice by them, really. They found the commander. What are they doing? What are they doing? What on earth was that? No, what? No, oh, good lord.
Oh.
Okay, lads, here's how it works, you see. You put your fighters in first, and then you see the commander, and then you select your bombers, and you click on the commander, and then your bombers fly over, and you probably win the game. What you don't do is sort of go over there, wave to the ground as you fly by, get blown up by flak, and then fly home again, thinking, good job, lads. Probably not the best strategy I've ever seen implemented out there. Here they come again, though. They enjoyed their flyby so much the first time, that they're thinking that maybe we'll do it again.
They could actually get through this. They've taken out enough of the flak. They can probably get a commander snipe off over these bombers. Are they going to be able to?
No, they're going for the anti-nuke because why win the game when you can hit the thing stopping you from winning the game? I guess. And they lose all the bombers. Okay, okay. Insight into the mind of Army 1 there. I'd love to have it. Here comes the nuke because they've clearly decided that's just cooler to win with. And there's the victory. Army 1 showing.
All credit to them. We do like explosions and nukes, and they are fun. But that was frustrating to watch. Oh goodness me! What a game!
Well, absolutely. I think Army 1 making hard work there, weren't they? Really made hard work of that end game. They built every super weapon, but didn't really. They built the orbital, which was then counted.
I feel like my one critique that I would hasten to give to them following both of these games is choose a strategy and stick to it.
No,
I mean, by the end of
with
that
the end
game,
game, we've seen them. Yeah, sort of mess around with these end game strategy. They don't quite seem to know how to close it out, and I think Hulkins would probably have been the best way, just because everything else could be countered. Or rush the nuke first and build it deep in the temple where it can't be scouted.
Rush anything first. They didn't commit to any. The only thing
they did sort of rush orbital, didn't they? But it got scouted by the advanced radar, and that's just an unfamiliarity, I think, with the fact a lot of people don't know that advanced radar can see orbital. I think some players aren't aware of this fact. But that was a bit of a mistake. They put a lot of resources into that, and it never panned out for them. It's especially tricky on a single planet. If it's 2 planets, you could fly straight in over the top of the commander. Much better chance for a snipe. With the one planet, you got to fly all the way to him. But again, I think Cosmic Joke had a great opportunity to win this game.
And they just threw it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was their game to lose.
I felt like they really missed out there. They took the lake. They didn't finish Army 1 in the lake. They should have closed it out, and they could have had a commander kill really early on. Great opportunity there for a commander kill, and they certainly missed out on it.
We were in snipe territory for most of that game. They obviously repaired their commanders a little bit going into the late game, but I mean, looking at the end of this, Army 1 had one commander on 22% health, one commander on 37% health. Easy snipe territory. But they let them turtle up around their commanders so much that sniping was beyond the grasp. And because Army 1 had the eco advantage, and they had the advantageous position in terms of how many metal points they had, and because because Cosmic Joke allowed themselves to be pushed off of the land entirely and not take advantage of any of the eco, it forfeited the chance to actually build any sniping weapons of their own. We saw that in the late game, where all of the aggressive play, all of the offensive units were being built by Army 1, and all of the counters to them, i.e. the defensive units, were being built by Cosmic Joke. And unfortunately that meant that they couldn't project their power from the lake, and they were just sort of sitting ducks, really. Fairly literally, actually. But it was again, it's hard to argue against it because it obviously worked for Army 1 eventually. But I feel, again, they could have won it sooner. Looking at the ecos at the end there, they had 1,100 metal income compared to only nearly 300 for Cosmic Joke. And that comparison is just, yeah, they should have won that a lot sooner than they did.
No, absolutely. Definitely some missed opportunities there. And we saw a very similar play, really, from the two teams, in that Army 1 went for the heavy Fabra approach, while Cosmic Joke went for that heavy Army approach, and pushed early, pushed hard, almost won, in fact. Both commanders, Army 1, really low. And they must be repaired, because one of them was at 6%, and the other one was at, what, 22%. Really, Cosmic Joke feels like they should have closed out and won that game.
Again, it's the same. It's the same position that we were in last time, where they set everything up nicely. All the dominoes lined up, ready to knock them down, and then they mess up the flick, and the first one goes flying off into the distance, and everything else is left standing. I thought it was quite a good analogy. That
it was true. It was beautiful. I actually just had to pause there. I caught my breath. Took away my breath, and I was wiping away a tear from my face at the same time. The beauty if you're controlling the English language. So they should have sent a poet, and indeed they did.
Oh, so what have they sent us? They've sent us the Messiah, I think. Was it? No, no, a visionary. No, not the Messiah. I'm a very naughty boy.
Not the Messiah. Are we quoting Life of Brian now? We've gone down the Monty Python route. That's right. Quote British. Quote British. The way. These mines. I think if they just reacted to the mines earlier as well. Again, the Cosmic Joke has all sorts of opportunities this game to take it. They had the ground game as well. At one point, very heavy ground presence. They had the larger armies, both in the lake and the land, but they didn't react to the mines, kept driving into them, and just let themselves get pushed back to the shore. Even when they brought out the Leviathans, didn't use them to properly support the land presence they did have, because they were so concentrating on taking down the base they could see, and I think they could probably have split those up a bit more.
Again, what it comes down to is that Army 1 laid down some play which was easily counterable, and the counters just didn't appear until it was far too late. I mean, we saw some skitters appear from Cosmic Joke right at the end there, just as they were losing their last grip on the land. It was like too little too late at this point. But to be fair, they have put in a very strong game. So it's sad that they've. I think they're now out of this tournament, aren't they? After that, that's best of three.
Absolutely.
And
Army 1 go through to the next to the quarterfinals now, competing for that $200 prize, and unfortunately, that is the end of the journey for Cosmic Joke. On the upside, it does mean that my predictions are still holding. So
good.
There is, exactly. And let's look on the plus side here. You know, let's find the good.
You're going to be insufferable if you end up correctly predicting the winner of this tournament.
I think it's pretty inevitable that I am going to predict the winner of this tournament and be insufferable
At the same time?
Oh, I can imagine at the same time. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.